Okay, we have a light switch we have to replace here, and we have to put some tail wires on here so we can hook it up easily without, because I have a sore hand and I can't loop wires and twist them like I used to for a while. So we're going to put the wires on the switch using these lever connectors, and I'm going to put the tails on here first before we hook it up to the power. So we'll take Okay, so we cut some tail wires here. We're going to put our wires around the screw on the switch, so we'll clip here. And I'll pull this off with my teeth. And I'll strip what we need to go into our lever connector. And I'll do the same on this one. I'll strip this one to go around the screw. Take off about 1 inch. I'll take off about 1/2 inch to go into our Wago connector. And we'll cut a piece of ground wire so we can hook it up to our ground screw. So you always put your wire around the screw the direction that the screw turns. So I'm going to make my loop the direction our screw turns here. Put it around our screw the direction our screw turns. Okay. Okay, we'll close our loop the direction our screw turns like that. I pull it back so our copper stays under the head all the way. See how the copper came up? So I just pull it back like that. And I'll just tighten it like this. So we have a nice connection here like that. Now I'll do our other wire. We'll make our loop the direction our screw turns. I can't grip with my left hand, so I'm going to do it like that. Get it around our screw, the direction our screw turns. If you notice, there's a little clip here to help hold the wire. See the little notch there? But I'm going to close it with my pliers here. Close our loop the direction the screw turns. Make sure our copper stays down under our screw head. Make sure it's tight. I see a little copper popped up here, so I'm going to loosen this up again. I'll pull back. And I can close that loop a little bit more. There we go. Our copper is under the screw head there. Okay, I'm going to get this wire out of our way, and I'll pull this one back down. And I'll I'll tighten it. I pull it back so it's down all the way. And I have to open it up and close it some more because it's not going down all the way. There we go. Now we have our copper under the screw head all the way. There we go. Keeps trying to come up. No, it didn't. I'll close this ground screw so it's not. Okay, now I can tighten this. There we go. Now we have our good solid connection the way we want it. See how we have the copper going under the screw head all the way around, and we have our insulation not pinched. Now we can put our ground wire tail on here. We'll loop our wire the direction our screw is going to turn. Close our loop. I'll just push it down a little bit this way so it didn't wrap up around there, so I'll tighten it. There we go. Alright, so we'll put our lever connectors onto our switch. These are made by Ideal. So what you do is you flip your lever back like this. You slide your wire in. And I'll turn it around, make sure my copper is up at the top. Our insulation is not under the lever. And I'll just snap that down. So there's one. We'll do our other one, the same thing. We'll flip it down like that. Put it on like this. Make sure our copper goes up to the top, and we'll turn it around, make sure our insulation is in the bottom and our copper is up at the top all the way. And we'll just snap it down. And we'll do the same for our ground wire. Push it in, snap it down. You can see our copper is up at the top. So now we'll come over to the switch where we have to replace the switch. See how that switch doesn't feel quite right? So we're going to unscrew it out of our box here. A little bit harder with the wrong tools, I know, but you just got to make sure you do the best you can. There we go. You just have to learn to love not having everything you need and want. Okay, so we have our tail wire to go to our ground. We'll identify which one is live. So that's our live one, that's our load one. That wasn't very tight. Make sure our wires are all nice and flat. Okay, so now we can hook our lever connectors up here. We'll hook our ground to the ground. Doesn't matter which one I put it in, so I'll put it in this one here. Make sure our copper gets up to the top. See our copper up at the top? We'll put our other, doesn't matter which one goes where again. This one is the line wire here. Or this is the load wire here. Or maybe I'll do our line wire first so we get that insulated out of the way. Push it in. Make sure our copper comes up to the top. See our copper up at the top there, and our insulation is in there. So we can push this into our box. And now we'll get our load wire. Open it. Push it in. Make sure it's in all the way. Snap it down. I'll just look in our top here, make sure our copper is down at the bottom here. See how our copper is? I can push that in a little further so I can push it up. There, now it's up all the way. So now what we can do, we can put a little tape around these levers here to keep them on there nice and tight. So we can use some electrical tape here. And we can tape these levers so they don't come off. So we'll get it up around the base here. We'll go around. We'll get our levers all taped down. This way they won't pop up and loosen up on you. And we'll do the same with our ground here. Make sure your copper's up all the way. Okay, so we'll get it around here. I see our copper is up all the way. This will make sure our levers stay clamped in the way we want them. Keep our ground wire down here on the bottom. And we'll tape these up and make sure that these levers stay down all the way. Okay, that one popped up a little bit, so I'm going to open this up. Push it down again. Snap it back up. Make sure our levers are all down. Make sure we get around across the bottom there. Come up, come over. There we go, we got them all in. I'm going to take this piece off so we can hold our wires into the box. Now we're going to get a right kind of cover for this. We're going to get a blank and a switch. And these pointy screws can puncture a wire, so you don't want to use these kind of screws with a sharp point on them because it can hit the wires in the back of the box. So we'll get our ground wires down the bottom here. Push this in here like this. So we'll just push our switch into our box here. And with that ground wire close to the side of the switch there. Now the ground wire is away from everything now. So now maybe we can put this other piece back on. With these screws that don't have the sharp edges, so I just look to make sure our screws aren't going to hit anything. So this way we don't puncture our wires with the pointy end of a screw. This cover has the two little notches in it, so you could make it a double cover here. Okay, I'm going to make sure that these cover screws don't hit anything we don't want it to hit. Okay, that's not going to hit anything. Top one's not going to hit anything. I'm going to leave these kind of loose so we can snap our other one in here. So this little notch will fit in under this one, and that notch will fit under this one. So I'll just get it in here. There it is. Now I'll just snap it in like that. I'll just break away some of this silicone and we'll just put some more on here. There we go. I'd rather move this side than the switch side. There it goes. Put this on here nice and tight. Okay, and we'll just get some more caulk and put it around here. Alrighty, that is how to replace a damaged or broken light switch here in the country I was born in. Here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or on a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. This is a very nice luxury apartment complex I'm doing the maintenance on for the landlord, because the landlord has a very good reputation around town. He's known for taking good care of his buildings and taking good care of all of his tenants, and I enjoy helping him and making some YouTube videos. Peace. Thanks for watching.